This is map number 2 of a best of 3. It's the quarterfinals of Go for SC2 Monday. Foxtrot Labs is the map and spawning to the top right hand position. He's 1-0 up in this best of 3. He plays for Team Acer. It's Bly. And his opponent down in the bottom left. The Pink Protoss. Playing for Vega Squadron. It's Cooltea. They're in the top right and bottom left hand positions. And that means the natural base looks like this. You've got a longer way out to get to that wall if you've got 2 sets of debris to come into your base. If it was bottom right, of course, things would look slightly different. You'd have a narrower choke here, slightly closer. These positions, I'd say, favour Bly. And the reason for that is walling off of the natural is going to be a lot harder. Photon Overcharge does not stretch that far. Even if you walled off, there's the debris there. It's going to be interesting to see what adjustments, if any, are made by Cooltea. But he's got to keep a good little look on what he's planning on doing. He's going gateway first at the moment. Bly, on the other hand, in game number 1, did, of course, go for that Speedling all-in. It worked for him, though. It allowed him to get a good amount of damage down. It allowed him to win the game and get that 1-0 advantage that psychologically is so important in a best of 3. Bly coming forward now, going to try and get that scout. Harassing this poor little probe. Ooh, is that actually an attempt at a proxy hatch? It is! Oh, Bly. This is fun stuff. He didn't actually see the gateway. Maybe he thought this was going to be a Nexus first. Either way, excitement is going to definitely be making a move here. Cybercore already on its way down. Bly adding in the spawning pool, adding in the extractor. It looks like Bly does not want this series to be going on for too long. The probe for Cooltea, out on a little adventure. Going to be checking to see what Bly's doing behind this. We'll get an uninterrupted scout. Speed is going to be able to come down very early here. Cooltea adding in a Zealot, wanting to try and pick off that hatchery. Second Zealot also on its way. Chrono boosting it out. He does not want this staying alive much longer. Bly going to be trying to take his own natural, but is going to get it blocked by a pylon. Note the probe has not gone into the main. Doesn't know about the extractor. Doesn't know about the spawning pool. Bly nearly got enough gas in order to start up Zergling speed. That's going to be an important upgrade when it comes through. Second Zealot. Out of the field now. Zealots take a long time to spread through these hatcheries. Are we going to see any lings made down here? Probably not. Queen was debating coming out. Decides against it though. Bly, unfortunately, getting a minute supply block. Third Zealot now coming on down. Of course, all while this hatch is alive, the creep spread is going to just spread further out. And that means that it's going to get harder and harder, or take a lot longer for it to come through. 2 little lings, bounding on forward. They're going to go for a bit of a scout. There's no Zealots here to defend this. They're going to predominantly be looking at the gases. See, there's only 1 there. Of course, follow-up of a lot of Zealots could always be a concern at this stage. Bly loses those 2 Zerglings, but does take his natural base. So that's quite delayed. A couple of things running away. Of course, the creep proceeding will take a fair amount of time. With these Zealots out, it's going to be very difficult for the Zerglings alone to be able to do too much. Speed is still a fair way off. Still about 30 seconds away from completion. But the Lings are able to give the Zealots a good run around, all while there's just the Zealots there. They're not quick enough to be able to catch them, even without speed. So, all while the Lings being very proactive could cause a problem. 1 probe does get taken down there. Nice work. Still, the Lings running and bounding, trying to find a way through. Oh, one gets very low on health. It will slowly regenerate up. Doesn't have speed. This makes it a bit easier. The Mothership Core trying to intercept. Not going to be able to get that. Lings looping back round. Just being very proactive out on the map. We've got a lot more coming in from Bly as well. 10 more Zerglings on their way. A few more shots coming down. 1 Ling dies for it, but dies for a probe for a Ling. Very good trade. Single Zergling, 25 minerals. Single probe, 50 minerals, plus all that it may mine in its life. The wall-off is now completed here, I do believe. I don't think there's a gap there. Nope. Oh, no, there is! Oh, I didn't think that was a gap, but Bly now able to sneak on by with a lot of Lings. That's disastrous for Cooltea. A sentry could easily get taken down here. Force fills itself out. Photon Overcharge triggered. There's quite a few Lings. There's also a couple of Zealots there. 11 Zerglings. No more on the way at the moment. Just droning behind this. Ideally, Bly wants to try and force the denial on this natural base. More importantly, they wants to keep all these Zerglings alive. Photon Overcharge does still have a bit longer. Ooh, that Sentry forced to spend 2 force fields to keep itself alive. Second Sentry gets taken down, though. Anytime you get sentries with Zerglings, you're going to be a very happy player. Another Sentry gets taken down. Very, very cost efficient here from Bly, using these early Speedlings. Moving up in towards the main base. Photon Overcharge is still active. Only for a second more, though. 3 Lings remain. Frantically bounding about with speed. Trying to get a bit more damage done. Little move here now. This is infuriating for Cooltea. Ooh, 2 Lings don't want to engage up against 3 Zealots. Still the Zergling, though, is alive. Trying to get any damage that it can done. Isn't going to be able to escape. Just keeps scouting, keeps a look at everything being produced. And gets vital information. Finally dies, but Bly, he did so much there. He only killed 3 workers, but he picked off a couple of sentries. And that in itself is definitely worthwhile of 18 Lings. 2 sentries and 3 probes. Very nice trade there. Resources lost obviously slightly favour Cooltea, but Bly didn't lose any gas for that. The economies are still favouring Bly, who does now have his 3rd hatch coming up. He's adding in a Rotoron too. No sign of any tech yet, just a lot more gateways coming on down here. So Cooltea's plan is just to cause a little bit of hurt over on Bly's side of the map. But Bly, already adding in the Spine Crawler. Can his Overlord see the gas? No, not quite. He may actually think it can from that position. It looks like it should be able to. So that's a bit unfortunate if Bly is expecting that to be able to see it. Still though, running back with a lot of Lings. Should see it move out of units. Does he actually spot it? No, not quite yet. Does see the Mothership Core moving forward though. Will now confirm that that is a lot of gateway units coming across. But by pushing through with these Lings, he should force Cooltea to come back and defend. And that's not what Cooltea wants to be doing. Quite a few probes could go down here. The Zergling still being aggressive, still being irritating. Moving up now in towards that main base. Should get a few probes here. Good warp into Zealots. We'll be able to save a few more workers. But still, the damage being done. 8 probes killed. Buying time. That's the most important thing of this little run by. The fact that the push hasn't come now is giving Bly so much time to get out more roaches. In come the Lings. Killing off yet more probes. This is starting to become very painful. The sentries as well could be running into some problems. They're going to try and force field, but that won't save them. 2 small sentries go down. Cooltea being a bit indecisive on whether he wants to pull back or engage. Those warpins doing a lot, getting a few more units down, but still more probes are getting picked off. 12 now have been killed. Zealots being forced to stay back at home. The roach count is getting quite substantial, up to 20. They don't want to engage in small numbers though. The force fields are good from Cooltea. We saw this from him in his game up against Hyun. Moving forward, taking a good couple of shots through the Zealots. Dealing a good amount of damage, and the force fields are just solid throughout. Bly is going to struggle to hold this. Now the roach count starting to dwindle. Needs to pick off the sentries as best he can. Backing away, waiting for more reinforcements. 2 queens will help. Neither with enough energy for a transfuse yet, although one is about to. Drones even being pulled now to try and help this. A Spine Crawler waddling on forward. Buying more time for 13 more roaches to pop on through. A couple of Zealots getting taken out. Bly up in the army supply by 12. The force fields are still solid though from Cooltea. A couple of those Zealots trying to move on by, but the Spine Crawler survives. It's poking and chipping and prodding away. Down goes a few more sentries, and losing the sentries really hurts without the force fields. And now with Burrow, those roaches are just going to be such a formidable force. There's the GG. Bly able to take this series 2-0, and he's going to advance on into the semi-finals.